Well, for some reflections on this, SABC News reporter Thabiso Moss is at the site and joins me now. Very good afternoon, Thabiso. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. Now, 14 years on, Thabiso.
Good afternoon to you, Simpiwe, and to our viewers at home.
Indeed. Now, what does the story of Marikana look like through the eyes of those who were actually on that copy on the 16th of August 2012? Has the passage of time brought closure, or have many of the central questions remained unresolved?
Indeed, Simpiwe, and one of those issues that you are talking about is the issue of claims for those who were, injured or those who were affected by that particular incident of 2012, 16 August 2012. At the time, we're talking about families of those miners who were killed and also those who were injured on that particular day. And last year, we spoke to one of the lawyers for the injured and victims of Marikana Massacre, Andres Nkome, who told us that many claims have been settled since that particular incident 14 years ago. I'm talking about, or he was referring to claims for those who were injured as well as the victims of families, even though he emphasized that there are still some cases that are before the courts with regard to the Marikana Massacre, especially also the issue of compensation is still outstanding. So those are some of the issues at this point in time. But though there has been some improvement as far as salaries for employees, for mine workers is concerned, has improved. The harsh living conditions of these mine workers remains a bone of contention. Even earlier on, we spoke to AMCU Deputy President Phuthuma Manyati, who spoke to us about some of the commitments that especially from mining companies or from mining companies, Sibanye Stillwater, as well as government, in terms of developing this area of Marikana where many of these mine workers are living. But if you look at the area, it is still underdeveloped. People are still living in harsh conditions, like I've alluded earlier on. So that remains one of the main issues as far as this matter is concerned. As we look back 14 years, what happened on this day, or on the 16th of August in 2012.
And I guess that compensation will still remain the central issue. In fact, we've just played an insert of a former mine worker, Leruma Letele, who says that the workers were driven by a determination to improve their living conditions and were demanding a monthly salary of 12,500 rand. Just how important is it to understand that demand within the broader context of poverty, housing conditions, migrant labor, and the cost of living at the time?
Yeah, NCP, luckily we have spoken to some mine workers. Even on Thursday, we were here, we spoke to an artisan from Sibanye Stillwater, one of the mine workers who was also there in 2012 when they were still earning, low salaries. He alluded to the fact that they are now credit worthy, they are able to take loans, they are able to buy cars because of the struggles, or because of the fight that they continued during that particular time. They are now able to afford cars. Even their families, they are able to afford, as far as their families are concerned, they are able to buy some things, important things for their families, even though that is not enough, because even Sibanye Stillwater, we have managed to speak to them this week just to get a sense of where are the employers, especially the lowest paid workers, how much are they taking home at this point in time, 14 years on since the Marikana Massacre. And they told us that the lowest paid employees earning something like in the region of 18 to 20,000 here in Sibanye Stillwater. But one of the main issues that also came out from the interview that we had earlier on with AMCU Deputy President Phuthuma Manyati is the fact that there have been some retrenchments in the mining sector in general. But if you look at Sibanye Stillwater, according to Phuthuma Manyati, 50% of workers were retrenched or are retrenched since 2012. So he told us that there are about now 15,000 workers at Sibanye Stillwater from 30,000 in 2012. So it's what he told us earlier on as far as what is happening, though AMCU remains a majority union in some of these mines here in the Northwest Province. And also he told us about why we are seeing the number of people that are coming or attending to attending this commemoration is dwindling or has dwindled over the years, saying that it's because of retrenchments that have taken place, and also it depends on the day. If a commemoration is during the week or is on weekend, that also impact on the number of people that are always coming to attend this particular commemorative event to reflect on the incidents of 14 years ago, if I can put it that way, the Marikana massacre. So those are some of the issues that we have managed to get from those that we have spoken to when we are preparing for the main event, which is tomorrow. And also again, we have managed to speak to some of the residents of this area of Marikana, especially about the issue of services. They are still complaining about the dire state of this area as far as service delivery is concerned, that they are still struggling with services such as water and also proper sanitation. So there are many layers to this particular story of Marikana 14 years on.
All right, Thabiso, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us. SABC News reporter Thabiso Moss helping us reflect 14 years after the Marikana massacre, the events of 16th August 2012, which remain etched in the memories of those who were at the Gopi near the mine.